again, next year you've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 coming. And that whole concept started from you all saying, when are you going to be in a Marvel movie? When are you going to be in a Marvel movie? And you remember the first picture after that Marvel meeting that I had, where I was standing in the Avengers thing was in the background. Some of you could look it up. You know that picture where there was an Avengers old, like a 67 or an old Avengers copy that was behind me in that picture. If you look back on my Facebook page, you can find that. What's going to be surreal is that picture is going to come to pass, because now the Guardians will be included in Avengers Infinity Wars, and that's incredibly exciting. Incredibly exciting. Incredibly exciting, and something that if you were a part of our page, you knew before everybody, or you were told before everybody.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So many Marvel bombs dropping, Guardians Avengers crossover, so there's just going to be a breakdown of what's going on and what the crossover point I think is going to be. So the prophecy comes true. This is actually the picture that he was talking about, the Avengers picture that he was standing in front of way before he ever did the voice for Groot. I like the element of prophecy, like everybody started talking about something, then it became a thing. He talks about his other movies the same way too. If you're wondering what this is all about, Facebook sent him an award for getting over 100 million likes on his Facebook page. He has like one of the biggest Facebook pages in the entire world. So he was kind of like crying and fangirling on all the people that he got to work with, how happy he is, just saying thank you to all the fans, just being very gracious to everyone. But he just manages to drop this, and I like the way he talks about it too. If you're part of the fam, then you found this out before everyone else. So it's funny how now big things like this get found out in offhanded Facebook posts. I don't know if he did this intentionally or if he had arranged behind the scenes to announce this, but either way, it's out there, and it makes sense. We already knew that Peter Quill was going to be in Avengers Infinity War, but we didn't know if the other Guardians would be. But since we're talking about Vin Diesel here, a lot of you are probably wondering, is Baby Groot going to be in Avengers Infinity War, or will he be fully grown again? And I think the answer is in all the merchandising. So don't you think it would be funnier on screen, especially for younger viewers who really identify with the Baby Groot character, if they were to have a lot of scenes with Baby Groot in the other Avengers, like Tony Stark reacting to Baby Groot? So I think they're just going to have a lot of fun with that idea. So I'm expecting Baby Groot in the crossover. It's just easier for them to merchandise Baby Groot too. You have to remember, it's a Disney movie. They're thinking about the youth audience. Little kids love Baby Groot toys. They might make $1 billion on the movie, but they'll make like $2 or $3 billion on all the Baby Groot toys that they sell. So a couple other big things. The Russos have said, a lot of people are wondering what the title for the fourth Avengers film is going to be, because it's not Infinity War Part 2 anymore. I still think that it's going to be like all new, all different Avengers. Whatever the title ends up being, it's just going to mark the beginning of the new Avengers team, whatever that looks like. Like Spider-Man is a good example of one of the new Avengers characters. He will be a part of the Avengers going forward. We'll have Captain Marvel. We'll have Doctor Strange. There'll just be other characters that they'll slowly be weaving in. Like there'll be more Black Panther in the Avengers movies. The Russos said that they're not going to reveal the title for Avengers 4 for a long time, just because it sounds like it'd be spoilery, like it'd be called New Avengers, and that would let you know that the Avengers are going away. So even though you're reading all the clues, and you probably know this, like they want to keep it as non-spoilery as possible. But they said that the third Avengers film, Avengers Infinity War, will be the culmination of all the stuff that they've been doing so far. Avengers 4 will be a new beginning, which is why I'm just thinking all new, all different Avengers. So while it's kind of up in the air, I do think that some of the older Avengers will still stick around. Robert Downey Jr. has already said that he's in it for the long haul. So we will have like the Papa Tony Stark lording over all these new Avengers kids. Like imagine a version of the Breakfast Club where all the new Avengers are stuck in detention. Tony Stark taking on more of a parental role. Even though he'll always have really badass armor, he'll have all kinds of new toys, but really like the action is in introducing the new characters. Like, look at all this awesome stuff that Spider-Man is doing. Get to know Black Panther better. Learn about magic through Doctor Strange. Tony Stark will probably become more of a support character. I mean, he's just one example, but I think that he's going to be around for the long haul. Captain America, I think that Chris Evans is going to leave. Maybe they'll pass the mantle of Captain America to another character. Maybe they'll just retire the title for a little while before reintroducing it. But going into Phase 4, the Avengers will look very different from what they look like today. But because Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is coming up, I know a lot of you are wondering if we're going to see moments of crossover with the other movies. James Gunn said that's pretty much not going to happen. No Thanos, no Infinity Gem. He just wrote it as like a self-contained, really cosmic, awesome story. And he said that he might not be doing a third Guardians film. So however the Guardians are going to be crossing over with the Avengers in Infinity War, that will all happen during Infinity War. We might see shades of that in a post-credit scene. But let me know in the comments, what do you think the event is going to be that causes the Guardians to go back to Earth? Like maybe Thor and Hulk will encounter some Guardians story elements on their road trip during Thor Ragnarok, so that would be a logical story crossover point for the Guardians stuff, even if you don't see Guardians in Thor Ragnarok. But right now the Thor movies are kind of like the halfway point between the Guardians movies and the Earth-based Avengers movies, because Thor's in space, but he's largely an Earth-based Avenger character, or he has been so far. So don't be surprised if you see some Guardians-related stuff happening during Thor Ragnarok that goes beyond Thanos' Infinity Gem. That'll be happening too, but I feel like there'll be some other stuff to link Guardians to the main Avengers films. So let me know, what do you think that's going to be? I feel like an easy crossover point would be the Collector, because he's one of the Elders of the Universe. The Grand Master is going to be in Thor, played by Jeff Goldblum's character. So those two characters, both being Elders of the Universe, would probably be aware of each other. If the Kree got involved with the Asgardians in a big conflict, that'd be another crossover point. But there's a number of different ways they could choose for it to go down. And let me know, what do you think is going to happen if they don't do a third Guardians film? James Gunn is like, I wrote Guardians 2 as this really nice self-contained story. I have an idea for Guardians 3, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. So if you really do want him to make a third Guardians film, and I certainly do, make sure to make some noise about it. But I'm sure he understands that the fans definitely want more Guardians films. I feel like at this point, it's really just a question of him finding a story that he's really interested in doing. So get hype, and there is a new round of the giveaway. All you guys have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. If you guys haven't seen it, I just did a big Spider-Man Homecoming video. They just dropped a Mary Jane bomb. So a whole bunch of Marvel movie news happening right now. While you guys wait for my next video, you can click here to learn all about Mary Jane and Spider-Man Homecoming, and you can click here for my breakdown of the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Comic-Con trailer. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.